Hi there, listener. You're about to experience TADPOG. Tyler and Dave play old games, and there will be plenty of game talk, but also copious amounts of crude, off-color, offensive, and immature speech. So if you are of a rather sensitive humor constitution, we're just letting you know what you're in for with this show. It has games. It has jokes. You know, just games and jokes. Take the games, take the jokes, and have a good time.
Hello, Internet. Welcome to another TADPOG podcast. A show that happens twice a week where 2 to 3 old guys talk about old games. Today, since we're doing the whole first thing, today we're talking about IGN's 42nd ranked Super Nintendo game, E.V.O, The Search for Eden. And we have a very special first-time guest host today. The first Lord?
First Lord.
The first
TADPOG.
Lord.
Yes.
Dennis Robison.
When you start talking about special, it's that whole adage you don't know which way that's going.
A very special boy. He's a very special boy.
Very handsome boy.
He tied his shoes today and everything, and now we're going to talk about the video game.
He drove his vehicle here.
He used his thumbs to play this, didn't he?
I know Dennis from Murray State University. We were both graphic design students.
That's right.
And one of my first memories of you is when I feel like we bonded over Dave Attell's stand-up comedy. I don't think we ever would have talked to one another the entire time we were there, except I happened to be listening to Dave Attell's Skanks for the Memories. Yeah. And you were like leaned over and you're like, who is that? That's pretty funny.
Yeah. I mean, I've always been like a comedy junkie, and so any kind of stand-up, it's a weird thing for most people. It's like, well, what are you listening to? And it's, pop music or punk or whatever, in art class. If you're in a fine arts building, it's some god-awful shit that no one really likes, but they have to pretend to like because that's what you should like.
No, we like it. We like it,
Okay,
Dennis.
okay.
Yeah, because it's the same way with me. People ask me work, because I'm always listening to something, and it's always either an audiobook, which people give me looks for, or it's stand-up comedy. It's never music.
Or TADPOG podcast, of course.
Or TADPOG.
Right.
I'm listening to myself talk.
While you masturbate.
Meg's like, what are you doing? Masturbating inside of my own voice. And Dave's.
I think the first time I really remember bonding with Dave, this is about to get sexy.
Oh, boy. Don't tell that story. Don't tell that story.
Was like, again, this is going to sound, I shouldn't have led with that, staying up all night in the lab. Because, being up all night.
Long, hard nights in the lab.
Hard night, harder for some than others. But, and just like working on design all night and then going on your smoke breaks when I didn't even smoke and fucking with students who didn't understand what we were doing.
Which was pretty much every other art student that wasn't a graphic designer.
And Dave had cut out like these letters for a project that he was doing and had taped abs across his stomach. And so someone walked up and said, "What's on your stomach?" He said, "These are my abs." And from that moment, I was like, I like this fucking guy.
Yeah, it's back when I had bite. I don't anymore. I'm total like normo regular 30-year-old guy.
who does his own podcast and talks about jerking off a lot. Yeah.
Like I said, pretty normal, pretty regular.
Yeah.
I don't go. I'm not as racy to take abs on my shirt anymore.
Yeah. I know. I feel like you don't have your finger on the pulse of normal. Maybe
You moved out of that house on the edge that you just lived in for so long. Well, I'm your bearded host, Tyler.
Yeah.
And
did I totally interrupt?
No. It's all good flow. And I think I've briefly mentioned it maybe in the past, but I am still feeling so heartbroken and betrayed really by comic strip artist Bill Amend.
Bill Amend,
who did Foxtrot.
The dance, he was really good at.
He was just
dancing.
Amazing at Foxtrot.
He
and the
invented
waltz and the box step. He did all this. He's a cartoonist though, but he really dance is really where he hit his stride.
He drew cartoons while dancing.
That's why he's amazing.
He's one of Xavier's top mutants.
Like, I grew up with such a love of the comic strip Foxtrot. I mean, I loved it so much. Every year, every Christmas, I had At one point in time, I owned every strip he'd ever done because I always bought all the anthologies and the single books. And
It's
I was
a
on
good
like the
strip.
mailing list for like his website for all the strips and stuff like that. I just fucking ate it up. I loved it so much.
What did he do to you?
Well, he retired saying he was just going to do Sunday strips. And then eventually, like, the Sunday strips have tapered off. But toward the end of his career, all his strips were inside jokes about World of Warcraft.
Yeah. That's
And-
actually when I really enjoyed the
Yeah.
strip.
Well, I mean, and that's fine. And then see him, he goes to all these. He would go to conventions and like always draw his characters as like night elves and stuff like that for his fans.
Now I'm starting to understand why he retired.
Well, see, that's why
He was playing World of Warcraft.
he
all the-
retired saying, "I need to spend more time with my family." And then I'm eventually like, I see what's going on. It's like bullshit, Bill Amend. You just want to play more World of Warcraft, so you're leaving all your fans high and dry.
Like he said, his family.
Yeah.
That's why I feel so abandoned. And I guess why I went Final Fantasy XI instead of World of Warcraft because it killed my childhood comic strip.
Not to play devil's advocate, but he never said if it was his digital family or not.
That's true.
That's true.
And everyone knows the hierarchy goes guild, friends, and then family.
Come back, Bill Amend. Just quit it. Just quit it. Come back to me.
I'm Dave, your bespectacled host, and I had a whole bunch of options to choose from for my intro, but I'm glad that you mentioned Bill Amend and Foxtrot because it reminds me of one of my favorite memories from gaming with you, Tyler, in college was going over to your apartment, and it didn't matter what apartment you lived in at the time. There would always be like 15 Foxtrot books in the bathroom.
Yep.
And like
Yep.
2 of them would be on top of like the toilet tank, and then like 12 would be like on the floor surrounding the toilet. So like at any given time, there's just these urine-soaked Foxtrot books.
You're not lying.
Just because I remember one time taking a shit in your apartment, and I'm sitting there like, this is before smartphones, so it's like I'm not, playing anything. I'm just kind of looking around. I'm like, man. All right, I'm gonna read some of this Foxtrot. And I go to pick it up, and it was just soggy. And so I'm like, okay, not that one. And then so I'm like, surely one of the 2 on the toilet tank is gonna be all right. So I reach back and grab it. I open it up, and it was like I opened up an envelope filled with pubic hair. It just fell out, and I just put it back. I was like, I guess I'm just gonna shit.
I moved him from bathroom to bathroom for like 10 years. And granted, a lot of that is probably urine, but they also sit on the floor, so it's like spray from the shower,
A lot of
and
cum.
the toilet, and just semen, and yeah, it's just. And I ended up selling those books in a garage sale because like they were held together by masking tape.
Yeah.
Because I read them so much, and just like yeah.
That's the circle of life, though. Other people can piss on your books now.
I got a good $10 for my piss sheets. So
So is this my time to...
Yeah, you can
Yes,
say whatever
yes.
you want.
Cunt.
That's
That's whatever I wanted.
well done.
So the main reason that I came down to do this show with you guys is this game that you guys are doing today, E.V.O. or E.V.O. Which one is it? Is it...
Well, it's
Are there
There are
little dots
periods.
after
There are
periods.
periods. You're right. It is
Periods.
EVO then.
but let's just call it Evo.
or we could just say what we think, which was, who gives a shit? Whatever the fuck it was, No, but my close friend, or best friend, basically my brother at this point, who's a listener of the show, and what's his title?
Impresario.
Impresario Tony, and Yuki's cousin, and Tony the Tiger. That's especially for
That's
me.
your
Tony.
yeah. That's your name.
He was. I remember the day he bought this game. Literally, he loved it to the point that, like, he, had saved up and went the day after Christmas, and I went with him and stuff. But I mean, I'm not going to get into that story. The story I want to tell is I started listening to this show because of Dave, obviously, and I knew how funny Dave was, and I was going to enjoy that, and I did. And then, but the first time I heard it, it just took me back to playing Super Nintendo with Tony, who was the kid down the street, or the road, because we lived in rural Illinois, 8 miles outside a town of 3,500 people. It wasn't down the street, So my favorite by far, if anyone asks me what's your favorite, gaming story, it's this, is that Tony lived in like a 2-bedroom house and 3-bedroom house, and at one point his brother moved in, and he got moved to a smaller room, and such a small room that even as 8th graders we could sit on one end of it, like on the one wall, and reach with our feet to the other.
Does this story end with you holding up
Tony's dick with my feet? No. But, another story does.
Yeah, not this one.
No, but basically, so Tony had set up the Super Nintendo in his room, and he didn't set it up so we could play. He had put it on the floor where he could reach it with his feet. And this is because, I don't know if you guys had this in your school, but there was one kid who had the Playboy channel that his dad had gotten, and he had recorded a show. And this tape that he had made became like, the golden ticket that was passed around from kid to kid. Is like
the stuff of legend.
Now I will pass this on to you, And I think the name of it was something like, like Blue Neon or, just some
Show notes.
I honest, Tony would probably remember, but I have no recollection. But so it was Tony's turn to have this tape, and we were both excited to watch it, and I'm over at his house, and it's the middle of the fucking day, so Tony had figured out that if he hooked his Nintendo up a certain way, it overrided everything else that was hooked up. So basically, we started watching this, this softcore porn, 12 years old, sitting in chairs quietly, barely breathing. all I could think was, I'm uncomfortable with my obvious erection I'm trying to hide at 11 years old, and I'm sure he is too. Let's not look at each other in the eye. And the reason
Your erection was obvious at 11 years old? I'm wow. I'm impressed.
You know what my erection's like there.
Not at 11.
There you go.
I only know the 22-year-old erection.
No, so at some point, the reason he had set up that Super Nintendo is that his mom would check in, like, hey, do you guys need anything? And so anytime she opened that door, he'd flick his foot with the power button, and the Super Nintendo would start up. So here was me and Tony watching softcore porn, holding Super Nintendo controllers with Tony's toe.
It's got to be believable.
Yeah, with Tony's toe on the power button. So at any moment, he could flick it on and be like, hey, what's going on?
Why have you been at the start screen for 2 hours, boys? Just press start.
Man, Mario, it sounds like Mario's really giving it to Yoshi.
And man, they really like that game. They're noticeable erections.
Wow, Dennis, good for you.
It's either the games or each other. They're so close.
He's holding his dick up with his feet? I mean, I don't know.
I think if someone saw that, they'd just be more amazed at how good I was with my toes.
I've seen some videos.
Okay.
Show notes.
Okay.
We should do a new
E.V.O?
segment. I'm sorry.
Oh, yeah?
I'm sorry. We should do a new segment of what porn is on Dave's iPad today.
That'll be pretty good. That's too much, though. We'd
That-
overload the servers.
That and your breast segment. I think we need to do your weekly breast segment. Your breast news.
Now it's time for the tits and dicks segments of the week.
I love it.
This week in nipples.
Yeah, so that's Super Nintendo thing we do.
Yeah, we also talk about Super Nintendo games.
Occasionally.
I don't really want to talk about this one, I would be honest.
Oh, you can bet. If you want to talk shit about it, that's totally fine.
No, okay. All right. I'll talk shit about it.
All right. So, E.V.O, The Search for Eden.
Yeah.
Dennis, do you hear that?
No. Well, what am I supposed to be hearing? Oh.
Yeah.
I've always wondered what this train looked like.
It looks like me getting very close to the microphone and making weird faces.
This train has glasses.
This train is frantically looking up E.V.O on Wikipedia. E.V.O, guys, The Search for Eden. Originally released in Japan, oh boy, oh man, as 46 Okunin Monogatari Harakunaru Eden E. I feel like I did actually pretty
That
good.
wasn't bad.
I feel like I did pretty good.
Monogatari just came right out of your mouth.
It's a side-scrolling action video game developed by...
Is action in quotes?
No, it should be.
Action.
It was developed by Almonic Corporation and published by Enix for the Super Nintendo Entertainment System. It was released in 1992 for Japanese audiences. The game was later translated poorly. Oh, it doesn't say that. And released in North America in 1993 by Enix America Corp. Combining all aspects of traditional platforming with one single aspect of role-playing video games, The game involves the player navigating a creature through a number of side-scrolling levels while undergoing bodily evolution to cope with ever-changing environments. The game is heavily based on Almanic's original title, 46 Okunin Monogatari, the Shinka Ran, released exclusively in Japan for PC 9801 home computer, whatever the fuck that is.
Is there a translation of what that means, or is there some Japanese person listening to this? I can't believe that motherfucker just said that.
The translation is 4.6 billion year story to distant Eden.
Okay. That is good. That is where the game starts.
I mean, it's a name.
Yeah.
Well, we can say they improved the name, at least.
Yeah.
What did they? What the fuck is E.V.O? Like, it's not even. Is it short for evolution?
Because why is there periods in between it?
I don't think they understand. Like, that's an acronym, right?
Evolution's violent offspring. The search for Eden.
Evolution via orgasm? You know,
Yeah,
you know?
I think that's actually
Because
I think that
there is
is
a
how
lot
it
of
happens.
shaking
Yeah.
and stuff, and it can become things. You know?
the Wikipedia entry doesn't really get into what the game is actually about. It is about evolution, and I think from what I gathered, you're trying to become a man so you can fuck some chick named Gaia in Eden.
But she's
that right?
she's also the Earth. So you're trying to fuck sexy Earth.
And yes, it's kind of weird because it's like I felt like this game would be science-y, which it kind of is, but like it opens with the sun talking to the goddess of Earth.
Yep.
I mean, until you said that, I had no idea what that was. To me, I just thought, are you talking about the opening where things are just spinning around the sun? I thought it was pretty, oh, look, there's our solar system. I meant nothing to me. You know, it's like, well, all right, that's just a random image before we start, you know.
The story is completely fucking random as far as I'm concerned. And
the woman's name's Gaia?
Gaia, yeah.
And she has illusions?
See, what is the connection there? Because it's
Yeah.
both Enix, right? Like, was Enix just like, let's name this shit Gaia, and then this will be Illusion of Gaia will be set in her.
I know that Gaia seems to use like Selsun Blue or Head and Shoulders because she has really moist hair.
Yeah, it's like clouds or her hair, but it's not like really.
It looks like to me like water reflections, like her hair is made of the ocean.
Regardless, she's pretty hot.
Yeah,
Just
I mean,
saying.
for a blue-haired lady made of water, you know, and the earth, I don't know what she is, but
Yeah, I don't know.
but I do her.
Yeah, yeah, definitely.
Because father son's like third child Gaia. Every billion years there will be a life cycle in which blah blah survival of the fittest. Then you can then take the most fit creature and then populate your Earth with your children with it or some shit like that. So then she finds you and you're just a fish at this point, and it's like, all right, you gotta survive. If you make it to the end, I'm gonna fuck you. So,
Which is really good motivation.
And was that like a lottery though? Did she pick a random fish, or does she have an eye for a certain fish? It's like,
Oh, she knows how to pick a fish.
I want to fuck this fish, but only if it becomes a man. You know, to me, that's a weird job. I just want to know, or is she just horny enough to like, I'm going to grab a random fish and grow him into a man and fuck him? You know?
I mean, you would think everyone else is just her brothers and sisters.
But is that other fish her brother? So you're her
all the
brother.
other planets.
So, but
Planets should fuck other planets.
But as a fish, are you related to her, and are you already inside of her, but you're trying to get deeper inside of her?
I think you're on her. You're on her,
but not inside.
Not
of her.
inside.
not yet.
Not yet. You got to get to that is Eden.
It's a weird intro
So
for Look Who's
basically-
Talking, where it's just like you're swimming through.
Let's play some Beach Boys.
So you kind of start off on second base,
Yeah, pretty much.
you know, trying to get all the way home.
My big question was, why doesn't Father Son just call her Earth? Was like this a rebellious stage where she's like, I'm not Earth, Dad, I'm Gaia, and I'm gonna fuck a fish.
You know what? I thought that I wondered the same thing, and in my mind it was just, you know, being in Murray at some point in my life, I just thought, I'm sure this is because of the Christian right. It's like they're just like, you better not tell this story and pretend that this is Earth, or the Christ ambassadors are going to be pissed.
Yeah, my parents would not have let me play this game as a kid.
Really?
They would not have.
Would they have known?
I mean,
that
they,
it was...
they glued all the pages in my science textbook. Well, my parents didn't, but the school did. Glued the pages on evolution together in my textbooks.
Are you
so, like, yeah, this would not have been a thing.
Oh, Tony. I was so glad that story came out. For a little backstory to that is Tony loved this game, like I had mentioned, Impresario Tony. And hindsight being what it is now is like, at the time, I was like, why would anyone want to play a game about fucking evolution? Flash forward, and he has a PhD in chemistry, and he is a scientist. Makes more sense.
Yeah, I guess hindsight's 2020. Yeah. Although, I don't know where I was going with that. Sorry. I just wanted to interrupt you.
I hate this game.
I do hate this game. I think that there are much better ways to enjoy evolution than play this shitty game.
I went into it like, so much wanting to give my Tony now, who is like a brother to me, lives on the East Coast, and I live near St. Louis, and we don't see each other hardly ever, and we basically just talk constantly in text. We're not phone people, so we don't even talk on the phone.
So company.
Me and Dave.
So I mean, I think I started playing this with the real hope of like giving him. It's like, man, I know what you're saying. I really love this, and then at some point, you're slowly getting rid of that delusion to where it's like, maybe I like this, maybe I'm just tired, and it's like, no, this seems really shitty. And then the more I play, it's like, this is fucking terrible. Why would anyone like this? I guess you'd have to be a scientist.
I guess.
But again,
or a kid.
I think
as a kid it would have been different.
Not for me. I don't know. I could have. You would have liked it because it was rebellious, evidently.
Oh, fuck you, Dad.
Yeah. Check me out.
I'm turning to an ape into a man. Fuck you.
I don't know why monkeys still exist.
Granted, I thought it was one of the more unique premises out of games on the Super Nintendo.
Yeah, I think the concept is really cool, but they should have made a game around it.
Yeah, I mean, conceptually, it is like I was interested. I think that's why I could at least get myself to play it, being someone who's not into these type of games at all. I thought I might really like this because it is such a strong concept, kind of, a game about evolution, but it's not a game.
I think it would have been better suited to be a sim, like some kind of simulation game, like Spore or something like that.
I feel like it was like Sim Island of Dr. Moreau, because you just get increasingly fucked up evolutions, and you just look weirder and weirder and weirder.
Well, like I actually think the choosing how you evolve is really cool, because like what'll happen is you eat things. Well, let me rephrase that. You kill creatures and they turn into ham.
Naturally.
And then you eat.
All creatures turn into ham.
As is the way of the Lord.
So you eat the ham. You started as a fish, like we all said, and you eat the ham until you eat enough ham where you get
obesity. No. Heart disease. No.
No, keep going.
An erection. That doesn't make sense. I'm sorry.
A noticeable erection.
Well, for some of us.
Not me, sadly. As you eat ham, you gain points. They're called E.V.O points. And you spend these E.V.O points on making your fish better.
Yep.
You can give your fish a new dorsal fin, a sweet-ass horn that breaks immediately. You could give your fish better jaws. Like that part I thought was really cool, because like you can customize this animal, right? You can pimp it out.
Yeah.
Yep.
Dude, there's a TV in your fish.
I heard you like fish, dog.
So I put a fish in your fish.
Put a fish bowl full of fish in your fish.
Ready to go to Eden now.
But it's also like, it reminds me of Pokemon in the sense that it's a well-disguised grind fest.
It's
man, it is. You have to grind the fuck out of this game to really get what you want to get out of it.
That's definitely true. I would argue that it's not well disguised, however.
I mean, having a job and then coming home and playing this, I just thought, why would someone play this because I have a job, and it is obvious work. I'm going to have to do this one tedious task over. I mean, I've worked in manufacturing before I came to Murray State. Basically the same idea. But I'm going to do this one task over and over until it sucks my soul out, and then maybe I'll get a horn that'll break off.
That's all we're looking for in this world.
When it was in
Dennis.
manufacturing, it was a horn that played, Dixie, but as opposed to a horn that goes on your fish.
But like, yeah, but the grinding is slow.
Well, what are you grinding for?
That you just ham.
Ham. You got to get more ham.
And you have to eat the jellyfish turn into ham, other fish turn into ham, bees turn into ham.
Right.
So
why do you need all this ham? Why do you need to evolve?
So you can fuck Eden.
So, but
or no, you go to Eden to fuck Gaia.
right.
Sorry.
You got to eat all this ham so you can beat these bosses that are ridiculously fucking hard.
They are so hard. Oh my god, they're so hard.
And I'm so happy to hear two like serious gamers say it, because I'm pretty sure as I was playing, it's like, well, I'm obviously, or this might be offensive, but I'm obviously a retard. I was like, I
Only
am,
offensive to you.
I am a special guest.
Right, right. I wouldn't. Don't talk about yourself that way.
I'm sorry.
But God. And also, I mean, I feel like this game would have done better maybe as a PC game than as a console game, just with the
What kind of
customizations.
politically correct game?
Just very
We're not going to make a game about Jesus, Tyler. Stop it.
You could have, as a fish, you could have been like the Jesus fish, and you collect JESUS where you go through the level. This could have been a much better game.
Je suis. Je suis la jeune fish.
Je suis la jeune fish.
It's hard to make a politically correct game about a fish trying to fuck a human.
Guess it depends on your outlook on life.
And I was also very confused because like there's not a lot of tutorial in it, because it just like you're just there and you can do whatever you want if you have enough ham.
Not a lot is how you would describe it.
Or basically none.
Yeah.
There is a little bit, and here's my favorite part of this game, all right? There is actually a part of this game that I really love. You're dropped off, you're a fish. You just start out in the ocean, you swim up to a jellyfish, you're like, I don't know what's going on. The jellyfish is like, like a dialogue balloon pops up, and it's like, don't worry, man. It's evolution. You got to eat shit, and then you evolve and always move forward. He gives you like these obscure rules.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, and then I eat them.
Yeah.
Like immediately afterwards, I'm like, thanks for the advice, bro. No.
Well, so that's one of the more, because you eat that guy, and then later on, once you make it to land, as you're about to go in to like fight this boss, another fish lizard like you crawls out of the cave with a spear in its side, and it's like an open wound, and it drags itself over to you. Brother, please go kill the king bee, and it dies. And then you eat his body immediately
Right.
and get 1,000 evolution points.
I'm just amazed that you guys could follow the story. When I read this, it was very much like going out with my drunken friends. At some point in the night, they just wander up to me and say non sequitur things with words that don't even belong together. Like the names are so freaking ridiculous, and the Igabachu ba 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 ha 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 ha. We look and we dance and kill your brother. It's like, what the fuck are you talking about?
Yeah, I think there were some translation issues with the game.
After you eat your dead brother, and you go fight because you go from fish,
Wait a
and
minute,
you kill a shark.
You ate your dead brother?
Yeah, you eat your brother at some point.
It's that kid frog's dad. Because you meet the kid frog's dad after you beat a boss, right? Mm-hmm. And he's like,
So
I don't know where my dad is.
So the kid frog's dad, what does that make the dad to you if he's his brother?
He calls you brother, but I think he just means it like as a term of bonding.
Yeah.
Like brother.
As a black person? As a person of color?
A frog of color.
Or a white kid from the burbs? That's how he means it?
So the first boss.
This game said a lot sociologically. This is putting a whole new spin on it. The white frog ate the black frog to beat the bee. What's that mean?
So he could fuck his sister. It's so weird.
Because the first boss is like a giant shark that you have to evolve a narwhal horn that will fall off.
Immediately.
And you have to immediately evolve it over and over and over again to kill a shark. And then you gain a new form where you can crawl on land. And then you go from there to fighting the giant bee. And because again, you're right, everything's ham. You kill a giant bee
Everything's ham.
that has no bones and has no meat, but he explodes into like what looks like Legend of Zelda ham hocks everywhere.
He does. The queen bee, on the other hand, explodes in the honeycomb.
Yes. The only one that like does it in the whole game.
Yeah, that's
Which
the only thing
it's a
not made out
shame
of
that
ham.
you don't have ham with you because it would go perfect together,
Ham, yeah.
I mean,
I wonder if they were like going
maybe
for something
that's the
there.
real point of this game is there's a recipe hidden in it.
The secret recipe.
Yeah. See, I would have figured like young Dave if you'd gotten to the chapter 3 where the Age of Dinosaurs.
Where you look like Littlefoot.
Yep, I thought you would have had a good time if you were young and got to that level.
Probably.
Then you probably would have had fun picking all your dinosaur evolutions and changing and shit
Yeah,
like
I
that.
love dinosaurs. I love making dioramas in my spare time. And paper mache apatosauruses was a real key way for me to unwind when I was in second grade.
And what's impressive about that is you obviously didn't get to read any of your science book, and you could still do it because all your pages were glued together. Yet you still knew what a petasaurus was. So congratulations.
Mine weren't. I was one county over. I was in the county where I guess we didn't do that. I don't know.
Yeah, I think by Marshall County, where I'm from, I think there were one of the only ones in the area that did do that. Although I had the rebel science teacher who just like, put your books on your desk and I'll just tell you about it. And she got in a lot of trouble.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
But not for that.
Not for that, no, for sleeping with one of the students.
Mainly-
but she also taught us about evolution.
Mainly for drinking and sleeping with
She didn't get in trouble for sleeping with the students, but while she was doing it, she was talking about evolution. So
Now, we can't have that.
As long as I teach you while I'm doing it, it's not wrong.
it's hard to know really what she did wrong there.
I remember half my class was like, oh, okay, cool. And the other half was like, this is wrong. Our parents wouldn't want us to listen to this. So like some students wouldn't have complained about her. I remember it was a whole big thing.
What she should have done before she started teaching was like, all right, show of hands, who's cool? And then everybody raised their hands like, all right, everyone else get the fuck out of here. I got some science to teach.
I really like that teacher a lot. I respect her for her decision to get in a lot of trouble as a poorly paid middle school teacher to talk about evolution.
I mean, I think the safe way to do it would have just played this game during class, because then you talked about evolution, but nobody knew what the fuck was going on.
Yeah.
It's like, well, this is evolution, and then maybe years later they'd think back, it's like, I think I understand what that was. I mean, I don't.
So it's kind of like how my dad understands evolution.
Of course, like the dinosaur you go through where you're fighting increasingly dangerous dinosaurs until like you meet the T-Rexes.
Yeah.
And this is where you get an alternate ending. Did you see the alternate ending?
No.
If you choose the T-Rex is like, do you want to worship me? And if you say yes, alternate ending where you for 1,000 years reign on high with the T-Rexes until asteroid hits and ice age comes and you die.
That seems like a perfectly good ending to me. Actually, that's probably the one that I would have selected.
But if you say no, you fight him and then eat like 1,000 more T-Rexes until you make it to the prime frog. And the prime frog is fucked up because giant frog, his back opens up and he spews tiny frogs all over the place that you have to fight.
Who made the decision to be like, well, we could have frogs as the boss or a T-Rex as the boss, and we'll swap them? It's like, well, make the T-Rexes the little guys, the underlings, and obviously the frog's the main scary dude.
Clearly. I mean, we have frogs still.
His back opens up. I mean, it's a very scary frog.
I mean, a T-Rex could rip you apart, but you could get warts from that frog.
It's true. It's true.
On your genitals if you fuck him like he was guy.
Well, so the prime frog doesn't turn into ham when you kill him. He turns into a whole lot more tiny frogs that are just stand still and you eat the tiny frogs.
See, I quit playing the game at this point. I put time in. I felt like I put enough time in to be like, and this game is not for me and does not belong on the list. And if it does, at the very fucking bottom of the list.
Like I said, I really wanted to like it because Tony loved it as a kid enough to go out of his way the day after Christmas to go get it. And technically, I think I own a portion of that game.
Oh, yeah?
Because
Did you loan him money?
I loaned him money with, he's like, I got more money at home. And I think he bought a couple games, and I can't remember the other one, but I remember E.V.O. for the simple fact that it was at least a weird concept for a game at the time. But so we got back to his house, he walked to his piggy bank, and as I walked into his room, I stepped on his hamster ball and broke it. And he said, even. So Tony was a shrewd businessman, you know.
I mean, he's right.
Yeah, I mean, I always wondered about the price of it, but it was hard to argue.
Hamster balls. Will the price of hamster balls go to the fucking roof?
So Tony, I paid $20 and, you know, literally 20 years later played this game and I didn't like it. You know, so I would like a refund. Go ahead and send that back.
Just send you a broken hamster ball?
Yeah, I'm going to send him a hamster ball. He can send me $20.
After you beat Prime Frog, then you're gifted with like Asteroid hits.
Gifted.
Yeah, asteroid hits. Eden kind of helps you out a little bit. Or, sorry, Guy kind of helps you out a little bit.
Gives you a helping hand.
Yeah. It's like, hey, mammal is the next big thing. So you get teleported to the future a little bit, and then you can take on a mammal form.
Insider trading. Come on.
Yeah, exactly. Survival of the fittest, my ass. She's helping you out all this.
She just wants to fuck a mammal.
Yep.
What's wrong with that girl?
Because you turn into like this weird lion rat looking thing, which you can still kill dinosaurs as the lion rat. That still happens. But after the Ice Age, and then you're going through this cave filled with ghost dinosaurs. And the ghost dinosaurs
sense.
are giving
They're
you
dead,
hits.
Tyler.
Yeah, they're dead. And they're telling you how sad they are, that they wish they were alive.
Oh, sure
and
would
shit
be
like
great
that.
if we didn't die.
Yeah. Because so they help you out, and then you kill the rest of the dinosaurs and eat them to evolve, and like armored lion rat.
Are they also turning into ham?
Yes.
Okay, great.
it's
So we're not ruining our streak.
Still ham at this
Okay.
point.
So a ghost turns into ham.
Well, no, the ghost you can't kill.
Oh,
it's just
okay.
everything else still turns into ham.
Although Ghost Ham is a great name for like my next folk band.
That's one of those bands that they're listening to in the Fine Arts Building. right
Yes,
now.
definitely.
Ghost Ham is you wouldn't get it.
You probably never heard of them.
Yeah, it's kind of a big deal.
But see, I feel like this is the chapter where shit starts to get weird.
Oh, it starts to get weird.
And
here?
it's acceptable like the premise before. But then now we're getting into when ghost dinosaurs, and then you go from this to like a pyramid that's filled with eagle men. And you have to fight the spear-wielding eagle men who have like teleportation pads in their little castle thing they've constructed. And you go through this maze of teleportation pads to beat like the eagle man shaman.
Man, I got cheated in my science education in high school.
Exactly. Because you kill the eagle shaman, and then you go back out into the Ice Age where there are yetis. So then you have to
Was
fight
this
yetis.
game made by creationists?
I don't know.
Was this like, you know what? There's a lot of impressionable kids out there. Evolution wasn't real. And let's just throw this shit out there.
They got a lot of complaints. Like, oh, well, let's make it weird.
Did Bill Nye talk about this game in his recent debate?
This is the point in the other Ken, whatever his name. It's like, have you played E.V.O. and Ken Reed?
Ken, wrong guy.
You know, there's a creationist museum like right across from Cincinnati.
Yeah.
It's in
It's
Kentucky.
in northern
Do you
Kentucky.
think that this game is there?
It belongs there. It belongs there, I
Well,
think.
there's a video like about cavemen and stuff like that in the Creationist Museum, and Meg told me about this because she thought it was very funny.
Meg's
That-
246.
Meg's 246 of Kirby's Avalanche and Harvest Moon fame. She was laughing so hard because they spent a ton of money on this video, and then it turns out like the actor they had played to be Adam was a gay porn star. So they fired him and had to film the whole thing over again.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
They filmed the whole thing
Filmed
because
the
of
whole-
that?
Because of that.
Was he
They
fucking a guy
they
in the movie?
No, they just scrapped
What the
all that
fuck?
money all over again because he's
And
been
you know
gay
what's
porn.
fucked up? I know.
Where are you gonna get a guy with that good of a body that can act that doesn't do gay porn?
So he wasn't really playing Adam, he was playing Steve.
But see,
Yeah, I'm out.
Take that, creationist.
all right, but Yetis.
Yetis. Man, can we just turn this into the creationism episode?
You kill the blue male Yeti and then a pink female Yeti, and the little baby Yeti runs out on the screen crying, "Mommy, Daddy, where are you? I'm alone."
You don't
and
have
then
to-
like your rat
Do you eat
line.
it?
No,
Do you eat the baby?
That one you just phase at a time. Like
okay.
it's running around crying. A door opens up and you step in and go to a different time.
You don't have to tell us what color they are. Obviously, Yetis that are blue are boys.
Yeah.
Yetis that are pink are girls. We
Yeah.
know that.
Again.
That's common knowledge.
Again, E.V.O. is focusing on color. I don't understand. I think this game has some misplaced feelings.
And then okay, the next era is the era of man, and this is when shit gets even weirder.
If you said this is when shit gets weird, I was going to lose it. You know?
Because like at some point you can evolve into like your bird form, and then there's like I guess it's like a little Easter egg, because if you go climb this part of the mountain, eat this mystery pellet, change your form to a bird and fly straight up in the air, you get to hear a conversation about, you fly up in the sky and you hear, "Oh, I feel like we're directing the evolution in an incorrect way."
Yeah.
And then you fly up and you find aliens, and you attack their spaceship, and then if you choose to forgive them, you can board the spaceship and go to Mars. And they teach you about like how they've been directing the evolution of Earth, but they feel bad about
Scientology is making this game. This is a game about Scientology.
Then they feel bad about it.
I know that it's like Scientology for me because it deals a lot with depression. I played it and I felt very depressed.
So it turns out aliens from Mars have been directing evolution this whole time.
So is that who's talking earlier? Because in an earlier stage, you hear this random conversation between Commander and Person B.
Yep.
Person B?
It's
Yeah,
the aliens.
and they're talking about the crystals and shit that you eat to do. I don't even know what the fuck they do. You just eat them and nothing happens.
Yep.
Listen to what you're saying, that there are aliens who control us with crystals. I'm telling you, this somewhere, Yuki's cousin is Tom Cruise. I said it.
And I'll
Yuki's
apologize
mama. I
for a
know who
lot of
Yuki's
things,
cousin
but
is.
I'm not going to apologize for that. Any Scientologists listening, give us your money instead of that church.
Amen.
That's our prayer.
You go and you live at Mars for like so many years. They apologize and they say they'll leave Earth alone, and they bring you back, and you can continue on with the game.
Great.
So
Which is kind of the biggest disappointment in the game. Is like, I have to keep playing.
Oh, I got to go back. I wish I was really on Mars and not playing this game.
but you're continuing on as Lion Rat, still evolving, and then Eden. Fuck, I keep saying that because it's a girl's name. The Gaia comes down and is like, "Hey,
Eden is Gaia's vagina. That's an easy way
thank
to
you."
remember it.
Eden is Gaia's. Eden is Gaia's. But then Gaia's like, "Hey, there's some things going on with the whales. Would you help it out?"
And now all of a sudden you're playing Star Trek.
Well, see, then you can. You eat a bunch of crystals, and then you can shift your evolutions, so you evolve into a mermaid, and you go back into the water. And the mermaid's primary attack form is sneezing. And so when you sneeze on sharks, they turn into ham. It sounds like I'm making this shit up.
It really
at this
does.
point.
Like, I feel like I didn't finish this game, so you just like
I'm just making stuff up.
you did Mad Libs before you came over here. You're like, mermaid farted on a snail.
Who is your friend that talked about the drunk on the street saying?
That was Brandon of Axelay fame.
Well, he obviously knows the man who wrote this game.
Tropical Capricorn man
Yeah,
started E.V.O.
I'm pretty sure, because this sounds exact. Even just listening to Tyler sit and explain it, it's basically a crazy person on the street.
And then the mermaid sneezed on the shark and made it ham.
And it's turned into ham.
Tropical Capricorn.
Because like, there's even like you walk up, achoo, ham, achoo, ham, and you progress down into like Atlantis.
Are you
Sounds
sure
pretty
you're not
powerful.
sneezing ham out? Sometimes your mouth is full and you sneeze and stuff flies out. So
Yeah.
I think that's just a misunderstanding on your part, Tyler.
That's where ham comes from, actually, I think, is from mermaids sneezing.
Sneeze.
All mermaid mucus is ham-based.
I am so happy that
All
we had,
mermaid-
I'm learning so much about science today.
Yeah, it's great.
Yeah, aren't you?
I hope you enjoy this episode, Tony.
Yeah.
But yeah, you go through Eden, or you go through Atlantis long enough that you start seeing the enemy, or this alien, like the Martians have evolved sharks in a corrupt way, and they're oppressing the whales.
They put lasers on them.
What? Well, see, riding the sharks are tinier sharks that have guns. And you have to, as a mermaid, you have to go sneeze on them.
This game is fucking wrong. How is this game on the list? How is this game on the list? And in the fucking 40s.
Literally. It is a bunch of crazy fucks in a room together saying shit, and people are like, we'll make that a game. We'll make that a game. There's sharks riding sharks, and they shoot guns, they sneeze on this ham. It's nuts.
I've had more believable fever dreams.
Once you sneeze on enough sharks firing guns, you kill like a bigger shark, like they're called like the Aromans or something like that. You kill their
The A-Romans.
you kill their chief shark, and you go into
Jesus.
a throne room, and very slowly a whale like comes out and thanks you, and then you turn back to mouse rat and go back and finish the game.
Isn't Mouse Rat a band
That's
name?
from Parks and
Parks
Rec.
and Rec. When you said lion rat earlier, it took everything I had not to say mouse rat.
He has to get in his scarecrow boat and go back to land.
But then once you get back on land, that's when you start fighting monkeys. You go into a monkey cave, and it's fucking bonkers. Because monkeys are grabbing stuff and throwing stuff, and you're chasing them.
Tyler cannot keep using these adjectives like, and that's when it gets bonkers. No, the ship has sailed.
It went from I mean that all shit was weird. Monkeys are bonkers. Monkeys get a whole different adjective.
I'm not gonna lie, guys. I'm like completely fucking exhausted of this game. Are we near the end?
Yes.
Okay, all right.
Because after
I'm like really, I'm worn out.
because you go through all the monkeys, and then the guardian of the last boss is a caveman. And you actually fight the caveman, and then you go into fight the boss.
You buy some Geico, everything's fine.
Who is a tadpole?
Well, it's a giant amoeba-looking thing.
Really?
Oh my
that
God,
has like
I was joking. I had no fucking idea. I didn't think I was right.
Well, see, it's cyclical. Everything starts back.
Tony, everybody knows that a tadpole and an amoeba are the same thing.
Yeah, clearly that's where we get frogs.
Yes, exactly. It's a single-celled organism, a tadpole, right?
You're
Tony?
thinking of a sperm.
No,
They look the same, but they taste different.
because the amoeba boss, which has like all the aspects of evolution within it, and you kill it and beat it, and then you crawl back out and you reach Eden, and guys like, thank you, you're the fittest, you've passed all the tests.
Please tell me you get up in there.
Well, then the sun talks to you, and the sun's like, you have passed all the trials. I shall grant thee intelligence, and now you can make life with Gaia.
Bow, chicka, wow, wow.
So that's
Then
it.
you get like that's it?
Yeah.
That's it? You're not even awarded with like
That's it.
some kind of like hentai dating sim video
Nope.
or something?
Nope. I wanted one more level to where you evolve into a human and you kill and eat other humans to become a superhero, because that's where this game was going.
Yeah.
You kill others of your own kind and get stronger.
I think so. Basically, it ends with Eden starting, like so Adam and Eve together.
Oh.
To some degree. So what this game was trying to do, and we're making fun of it, was bring all the religions of the world together.
And the non-religions.
And we're the people who tear it apart. We're such assholes.
Yeah, well, clearly we're assholes.
all the world's religions, Scientology and Atlanteans. Eden.
I wonder if can we start that religion?
creationism,
Oh, I've got some achievements.
You got some achievements, Tyler? What do you got?
Try to play it for at least 3 minutes.
You did it! Yay!
My first one is Danger Will Robinson.
Okay.
And that's where you just meet the aliens.
Okay.
You just have to meet the aliens.
All right.
And the other one is Free Willy, where that's
Play
where
as Bill Clinton.
you do the optional whale quest to save the whales.
Okay, cool. I guess. I don't know. I have one achievement. All I could think about when I was playing the first level where you're a fish is, okay, the name of the achievement is You Are a Mackinaw Trout. And in order to unlock that achievement, you just have to beat the first stage, which is all underwater. And that's a reference to, do you guys remember a quote-unquote educational game from your childhood that was on the Apple II called, I think it was Odell Lake?
No.
Oh, man. I need to find this game because I didn't even think about this fucking game until I was playing E.V.O. If one good thing came out of me playing this forsaken fucking piece of shit game, it reminded me of Odell Lake. And that's where you choose a fish in the beginning and you just try to survive. Like everything tries to kill you. You run across otters and you have like different options like eat. Like you can try to eat the otter. You can try to chase away the otter. I have an image pulled up. I'm showing everybody. We'll put it in the show notes.
It's just porn he's showing us.
Yeah. It's just more busty teen deep throat.
What I've learned is Dave calls his penis the otter.
So it's two dicks slapping up against each other, and Dave's like, "Hey, do you want to eat the otter? Do you want to eat the otter?"
Oh, otter fell.
Odell Lake. I'm serious. Check it
Lake.
out.
All right.
Check it out.
Show notes.
Dennis, do you have any achievements?
I think I came up with one while you guys were talking, which I call it Spanish Fly, which is basically to kill a boss while keeping your horn. Just stay horny. Don't
Keep
break
your horn on because it breaks.
Because that fucking thing. These animals need like Viagra or something because that son of a bitch won't stay on. It won't stay hard.
There's a trick with the horn.
What is it?
And the trick with the horn is
2 popsicle sticks and some tape.
Evolution.
I made a splint. I made a dick splint. No, the trick with the horn is you can heal yourself. Anytime you spend evolution points to upgrade, your hit points completely refill. So like in a boss fight, I would add a horn for like 200 evolution points. I'd almost fucking die because the bosses were horrifically hard.
Yeah.
And then I would just go back to the options and I would evolve where I would just remove the horn for 100 points, and it was essentially just a 100-point heal. And I would just flip flop until I finally beat the boss.
Yeah.
But do you think it's possible to keep the horn on and just beat the boss without doing that? Like without any... I mean, or is there some secret to not breaking the
I guess
horn off
if you
that
really
I don't
upgraded
know?
the horn like to max, maybe it would stay on for a few hits.
Well, that's actually...
I did update it to max when I was the fish, and it still would break
Yeah, the
off
swordfish thing.
And,
yeah,
and there
it
doesn't
sucked.
seem to be any difference between like the cheapest, if you pay with money or points, whatever it is, but like the 20-point horn and the 5,000-point horn, it's the same.
No difference.
There's no
Yeah.
quality there. It's like they might hit harder, but they're still going to break off.
It's all made of that cheap Chinese steel. Which is actually, thanks for giving me another idea for an achievement, is Oh Me So Horny. And that is where you make it to the entire boss fight with the horn on your fish.
Yeah, which is basically what I'm saying Spanish Fly is.
Oh, okay. So it's one the same.
Yes, exactly. Keep it horny.
Well, that's how we roll.
Yeah.
Yeah, Tyler?
Yeah.
You ready for some beards?
Yeah.
You look exhausted.
Yeah. It was a
feel
trial.
exhausted. If you were to give this game a beard, Tyler, on a scale of beard to beard, somewhere in the middle, this game is going to fall. Well, what kind of beard would you give it?
It would be similar to the beard I have now, only it would become stainless steel spikes used for defense and fighting off predators. So I can become the apex predator with my spiky steel beard.
But that sounds like a
my
badass
evolution.
beard,
That
Tyler.
sounds like an awesome beard.
Yeah.
But I can't have oral sex with my wife anymore.
Sounds like an awesome beard, Tyler. Sorry, got this beard.
You know what's really
Can't
fucked up?
do it. Sorry, it'll hurt a lot.
What really fucked up about that statement is
Sorry,
that,
got this-
I guess you just need to do me instead.
is that he clarified.
That's also made of steel.
Tyler clarified he couldn't have oral sex with his wife, and so basically he's saying I'll tear the shit out of somebody else, but I'm not going to do it to my wife.
That's someone I love. I'd love to see that police report.
Like I'm really just a weird Christian Bale from American Psycho with a razor beard.
Oh, God, Tyler. Yeah, I think that better sums up this game. Christian Bale murdering prostitutes with a razor beard.
A hooker slaying razor beard.
I don't know. That still sounds pretty awesome. Maybe I'm kind of sick, but I like it.
You're into it.
Way more. I like that beard way more than I like this game.
Yeah, me too. Tyler,
Yes, Dave.
if you were to give this game a pair of glasses that just told the world how you feel about it, what kind of glasses would you give it?
Well, it's glasses. I guess they're lenses that you have to evolve, like frogs have, like thin film. So it would be a film you could optionally evolve, and whenever you looked at somebody, you could tell if they're judging you or not. So then you could direct your evolutionary behavior.
I am.
Yeah.
I am. You don't need those lenses. You could just ask me.
I thought you wasn't hard edged anymore though. So would you say anything?
If someone asked me, yeah.
Okay, so that's
You want to have honesty corner on TADPOG?
Beards and glasses. My brother did tell me, because he used to collect Super Nintendo games, that this game is very, very rare.
Really?
Like it is very hard to find.
Thankfully,
it's the
we had
same-
3 copies for each of us to play.
Yep. It's as rare as
well,
like a
I
copy
paid
of
my
Earthbound.
$20. I'm good to go.
Yeah,
It was through a barter system, but I still did it.
a hamster gave his life for this game.
There wasn't a hamster in the ball at the time.
Whatever, Dennis. Whatever you have to tell yourself to sleep at night.
I'm not going to tell you where the hamster was.
It was. Let me just say, it was really hard to sit still with the controller in your hand, wasn't it?
But I'm positive he was running.
Do you think this game belongs on the list, Tyler? We haven't done this in a bit. This was an Ashley Shake recommended segment that we kind of fell off on a little bit.
Yeah.
But I wanted to bring back for this game specifically.
I think because it kind of sets up games like Spore, like it's very unique. There's not another game with the same kind of premise, but so I think it belongs in the list for its premise, but it just falls apart so quickly into just ridiculousness.
It's not fun to play.
Yeah.
I mean, did you think it was fun to play?
I mean, as a kid, when I liked grinding kind of things,
Yeah.
I probably would have enjoyed. I would have enjoyed it until I absolutely stopped understanding it as a kid. So I would have enjoyed it up until like the Ice Age. But so I think it should be on the list. I would have enjoyed it as a kid. It's awful to come back and play it as an adult
Where would you put it? Where would you put it in the list?
in the 90s.
Yeah. Okay. I agree. I think if it were on the list, which I don't really think I'd put it on the list, but if I did, it would definitely be maybe 100 or 99.
So
So it kicks out Sparkster for you.
Oh, so I had more fun playing Sparkster.
Sparkster.
Definitely.
Yeah.
100% had more fun playing
but
Sparkster.
Yeah.
do you think as a game you get, this is a question that I don't have to call in for.
No, please call in. Here's my phone.
Okay. Did this game being so kind of original in concept bring about other games? Like, nowadays, is there the same way that you can listen to some music now and it was influenced by the blues and you can't tell it, but, is there a game now that without E.V.O.
I think like
couldn't exist?
Spore, which is all about evolution for like a bacterial level onward.
Yeah.
But as far as like
guess.
the mechanics and stuff, there's nothing revolutionary in it.
I mean, it's definitely different, but I wouldn't say it really caught on.
I mean, it's the same difference as like a racing game.
I
where
said
you get
revolutionary.
cash and
I meant evolutionary. I'm sorry.
We didn't play Revo. We played EVO. I think your Pokemon was mentioned earlier in the episode, and I think that probably, I don't know if it
the
would,
grinding and the learning
Yeah.
moves and then evolving to a new form.
which I don't like that style of game. I've never really gotten into a Pokemon game, so maybe that colors how I feel about EVO
Yeah.
as well.
I know that Pokemon is a cartoon.
Yep.
It is.
Is that true?
It's coming to
It is
Netflix
true.
pretty soon.
It's coming to Netflix?
Yep.
Live action? Someone should
wish.
make a live action Pokemon that's just
There's
like...
gotta be one.
Just go to a furry convention and be like, you want to be in the Pokemon movie?
Let's clear our calendars. I'm up. Hey, if there's a Pokemon casting call, I'll go rehearse for a Charmander. Is that a Pokemon?
Yeah,
All
it
right,
is.
I'll do it.
Have you guys seen there's a thing on BuzzFeed where someone drew Nicolas Cage's face on all the Pokemon? I swear to God that's
No,
true.
I love it.
I know nothing
That
about
sounds awesome.
Pokemon, but
It sounded like you said Poke Jobs.
I know you know
a little
plenty
bit
about Pokemon.
Pokejobs, but
Wear this.
I had a Pokejob with Nicolas Cage once. That's why.
Oh shit. Okay. Thanks for listening, everybody. Thanks for listening to us talk about what sounded like a horrific fever dream that we all had together.
This is one I feel great about this episode. I'm not gonna lie. I feel great about this one.
I feel kind of like that part in Wayne's World where Garth says that IQ is like we're looking at Wayne's basement, but we're not in Wayne's basement. After listening to you guys for like how many episodes is it now? Like 80,
83, I think, is this
Well,
episode.
suddenly hearing Tyler talk and looking at him, I was like, where the fuck am I? This is magical.
I did notice a few times you were staring at him intently as he was speaking.
Oh, that was after this.
Oh yeah, I noticed your erection.
You always do.
Yeah, well, that's why we get along so well.
It doesn't hurt that you're always staring.
I'm waiting.
You're bound to see it if you're always looking at my crotch.
You
there.
call it staring. I call it waiting.
You can find the show on iTunes or Stitcher. So you don't miss the next episode, we'll be talking about IGN's 41st ranked game, Ogre Battle, March of the Black Queen,
All right.
which Phil told us we have to use game facts from the start.
Oh,
Otherwise
really?
we'll be miserable.
Oh,
Yeah.
really?
They said it's almost impossible to figure out on your own. You have to have help.
So it's like Populous, kind of.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Only it's supposedly worse because we figured out Populous eventually.
Yeah. Hopefully the soundtrack's more than just a beating heart.
While you're there, don't forget to subscribe. Give the show a 5-star review. Right on too.
Yeah,
Good
please.
stuff happens. Leave a game in it. We'll get to it eventually.
Yeah, we'll try.
That's our promise. Eventually, we'll get to it.
Yeah, we promise that we'll try. That's about as much as I'm willing to commit to. Like Tyler said, we will be back sometime. In the meantime, if you can't get enough Tadpog goodness, you can always, why not visit us at tadpog.com. We're on the internet, y'all.
Oh, I thought you were going to give out your address right then.
We can do that.
Yeah,
We can do that.
Come on over to Dave's house.
Do you remember it? If you do, go ahead and give it out.
It's 3030.
Yes.
Yeah.
Paducah, Kentucky.
How many 30-30?
Alpha Alpha Avenue.
All right,
Street.
let's cut this out. Let's cut this out.
Alpha Drive. It's Alpha Drive.
No, it's not. You fucking liar.
3030 Alpha Drive, Paducah, Kentucky.
What's the zip code?
Fuck, I don't know.
Nah, they'll never find me.
Who knows Paducah's zip code unless you live in Paducah? Did I say bazooka right there?
Yep.
Well,
Yep. That's the last time.
I'm obviously still in the fever dream.
It is burning up in here. All right, enough of that. Enough of that shenanigans. Don't mail me anything unless it's panties, please, because I'll just resell them on eBay.
I'm sure you guys will cut that out. I mean, you cut out all that stuff about the Holocaust, so you're bound to cut out your address.
Yeah, clearly. While you're on the internet, checking us out at tadpog.com, why not go to Facebook? I mean, you're on the internet anyway. Clearly, you're not working. Just go to facebook.com/tadpog. There's a lot of cool people there doing a lot of cool shit. A lot of all kinds of I don't know. I haven't had any nice photographs of turds on the floor recently.
That happened?
Yeah, it happened.
Awesome.
Yeah. So you can find those there. And if you have more photographs of turds on floors, feel free to post them.
It might not be my place to do this, but I would like anyone that could post pictures of cartoon books with urine all over them to do that.
Yeah.
Foxtrot or not, find an old Garfield cartoon book, piss on it, and send a picture to TADPOG. I promise you, I will retweet it. I will share it. That's my commitment to this show is I'm going to share your pissy cartoon books.
Jim Davis is going to, oh man, he loves this show. Is he alive?
Jim Davis, yes.
Oh, okay.
I don't think enough people have said this, but it's time to give Garfield a golden shower.
I mean, even Jim Davis has said he'd never make Garfield to be funny. He was only meant to be sort of amusing and be a marketing gimmick.
All right.
Yeah.
At least he's honest. That's kind of like TADPOG. We're also on Twitter. You can find us at TADPOG_podcast or call us. You can call us. We're kind of being weird about how we do calls recently, but do it anyway. Leave us a voicemail.
Three calls, unless they're drunk calls or old people, we'll get through.
Yeah, or if you want to call and, I don't know, try to turn us on, we might play that. I don't know. Just saying.
Privately.
And if they don't answer your call, just stop by Dave's house now. So
Yeah,
they know the address.
You may or may not know where I live. Just drop by. But don't, please. You can, that number is 270-883-2555.
Nice. Did you read off my paper?
Oh yeah.
That? Okay.
Oh yeah.
Okay. I was blown away.
I had to ask Dennis what my address was. I sure as fuck can't remember that phone number.
But Dennis, thank you so much for driving all the way down from the St. Louis area to record with us.
Oh, it was awesome to come down and see you guys, and I'm serious. I was sitting here thinking, this is like fucking Waits World. It's so weird. Your voices match your faces. The thing that's really stupid about that is I hung out with you guys before. So I knew Dave for years, so I don't know why it was so amazing to me, but it was, So yeah, thanks for having me. I really appreciate it. And Tony, everybody knows that science is a waste of time. I just want you to know that.
Well, if this game is any indication.
It's more important that
chemistry is a poor man's magic.
Yeah,
we all know that.
Just guess about things. Don't be educated, and you'll figure it out.
Just fake it, right?
Yeah,
you'll be fine.
Science, Tony.
That's the message of this episode. Dennis.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
I've got a question for you.
Okay.
Our intro song is
music.
Yes.
He's not wrong.
That's not the answer I was looking for, but it's correct.
I believe it's Moves.
Moves. Yep.
Boom.
By
Pine Tree Court.
Close.
Pretty close.
Give you another guess.
Christmas Tree Lane?
No, I think that's an actual road in Lexington, but
is there a museum at the end of it, or the Museum of Creationism?
No, it's the Santa Claus Museum.
Fair enough. I believe it's Moves Sycamore Drive.
By Sycamore Drive.
Mm-hmm. I forgot the by. I don't like. I like to speak monosyllabically as much as possible. Me like game. Me hate this game. Big time.
I can agree with that. Yeah. Where can they find a link to that track?
On the show notes.
At?
TADPOG.com.
All right. Yeah. You pass.
The place to find all kinds of gay porn.
We can start. If that'll get our traffic up, I'm fine. I'll make it myself.
You guys did.
I'll call Steve from the Creationism Museum. We'll get this shit going.
To some degree, it's like a really streamlined Reddit because it has multiple interests. You can click on an Amazon page for a game, and right under it is a chick with a wiener.
Yeah, it's true. And sometimes it's all chicks with wieners.
And Reddit is just far too much. But TADPOG.com, it streamlines it.
It's condensed the best chicks with wieners leagues.
The best and worst. By the way, I think that might be my new motto in life. It's all chicks with wieners. Let me get that tattooed on my chest.
Well, and video games.
Yeah, a little addendum.
They should make a video game about chicks with wieners.
We probably play it.
Where would it fall on the list?
Paul, you heard the request.
Yeah, if we have any game designers out there who want to make this game, we'll endorse it 100%.
E.V.O 2, right there.
E.V.O 2, line trap the game. Until next week,
Tropical Capricorn.
I was talking about your dick. I didn't know.
Oh, my dick. Now I'm interested.